Derby prep season continues, but actually comes to a close this weekend. Oaklawn and Keeneland offering the last two preps for Derby points. The best way to play those races, the Derby, everything, anything you could ever want is to play through NYRA Bets. Head over to NYRABets.com if you're not a member. We will match up to $200 of your initial deposit. Use the promo code MATCH200. Final bankroll builders. We approach the Derby. Bet $50 or more through the app, and the app only on the Arkansas Derby. Win, lose, or draw. You'll get $20 back Derby weekend towards your bankroll for the Kentucky Derby, which is just 3 weeks from now. The Arkansas Derby. It feels like Concert Tour is going to be an overwhelming favorite in this race. We'll take a look at his win last time out in the Rebel, where he beat most of the field in the field that he faces in the Arkansas Derby. I think the difference is going to be Caddo River's not going to rate this time. He is going to go. Now, if you're Bob Baffert in Concert Tour, A, you draw outside of him so you don't mind. And B, I think if you're Bob Baffert, you're thinking, you know what? I want to know, can I stalk in the Derby and be successful? So I might as well stalk here. And the question is, if you're somebody that thinks that Caddo River had any chances taken away by rating last time out, you're supposed to bet him in this race if you liked him last time. Now, I don't like him. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think he should have been favored last time. He's going to go. Will he give a better account of himself? I don't know. I think he has Concert Tour breathing down his neck, and that one is a better horse. I think he puts him away around the turn at some point, and I believe Concert Tour is likely to win this at a short price. The question is, are any of the ones that ran behind him dangerous to improve and perhaps beat him or make it closer? I don't like Hosier, who simply picked up pieces sucking up on the inside. So he's the one I bet against for second if I was going to play against Caddo River for second, which I would. So the question is, Superstock, who came through on the inside, or Getter Number? Getter Number is the one I'd give one more chance to. Was good enough to beat a mediocre field last time out, but a field that included Rombauer, I'd say, as a 2-year-old at Santa Anita. And then last time out, had a wide trip and first time off a layoff in a tough spot. So I think if a horse is going to step forward, it's Getter Number. Concert Tour over Getter Number, a 5-4. We'll see if Caddo River can turn the tables with a more aggressive ride. I don't believe it'll make a difference. I think he had a comfortable stalking spot last time out. He's simply not good enough, but maybe he's a horse that will be better if he's on the front end. Concert Tour, is it possible with a big win in the Arkansas Derby? He's the favorite for the Kentucky Derby over Essential Quality. That remains to be seen. We'll find out more after we watch the Arkansas Derby from Oaklawn Park, their 12th race. Turn our attention to Keeneland for the final points race. Not a substantial amount of points. It's not really clear anybody in this race is necessarily going for the Derby. More likely a Preakness-type horse waiting in the wings, and the horse to beat in here is Proxy. We'll go 2 races back and take a look at Proxy, finishing a good second behind Mandaloun in the Risen Star. Now, Mandaloun blew up in the Louisiana Derby, and Proxy didn't fare much better. He ran a better race than Mandaloun did. And listen, he got a 93 buyer. It's not like he ran poorly. He had a little bit of trouble at the start, nothing really significant, and he was able to get into good position after that. I'm talking about the Louisiana Derby, not this race, where he finished a good second. I just didn't think he was good enough. Maybe the distance got to him a little bit. He's the horse to beat in here, cutting back to a mile and a 16th, has the experience, has the good figs, and also the ability to rate in a race that should have a fairly strong pace. And that pace could at least somewhat include, though I don't think he's fast enough to be on the pace, the number 6, Hockey Dad, who's coming off a very good third-place finish last time out in the Jeff Ruby Stakes just a couple of weeks ago. Now, this was on synthetic. Hockey Dad, to me, has not shown he's necessarily not a dirt horse. Maybe he's just an improving horse. His dirt win at 6 furlongs at Santa Anita 3 races back was pretty good. And I do think he ran very, very well in the Jeff Ruby Stakes because he was the first mover in a race that ultimately collapsed in the late stages. The problem is that field was subpar. I don't think he's impossible in here. I think he's an interesting horse. Dirt, synthetic, we'll see. He's run well enough on dirt that if you do like him out of his last race, you can use him in here because he's obviously able to handle the surface. So the question is, are any of the horses off recent maiden wins or an allowance win interesting additions? And I think the number 2, Swiftsure, is a very dangerous addition in here. And he's actually my top choice over Proxy. We'll take a look at Swiftsure winning at 6 furlongs at Oaklawn Park last time out. The problem is he's a speed type. He's got a lot of speed, especially stretching out with Noble Reflection to his inside. He's going to have to rate comfortably, but this is a horse that's really improving for Steve Asmussen. And I found a stat for him. Got very, very good numbers when he's stretching out on the dirt overall, and he's stretching out off wins. Stretching out off a win, he's 29 for 116, 25% with a 214 ROI. Unusually strong numbers for Steve Asmussen in his barn. Irad Ortiz has them out. Swiftsure to me is my upset horse in here. Not a major upset, but an upsetter over the favorite Proxy. Let's take a look at Noble Reflection to his inside. Another horse stretching out off a win at Oaklawn Park. Now, this horse for Richard Baltus did it in a maiden race, so he's got to come back, stretch out, beat these horses off a maiden win. But don't kid yourself. The son of Liam's Map ran last time. This was a very, very strong win. How good the field was, I don't know. It does seem to justify the figure looking at how horses have run back, and an 89 buyer is nothing to sneeze at in his maiden win. We'll see if he can stretch out effectively. Both Noble Reflection and Swiftsure are talented horses. The question is, are they talented and effective going longer routes, or are they horses that will be better running in the sprint races like the Woody Stevens and the Alan Jerkins at Saratoga? And finally, there's Bozos. Bozos was all the rage, and a rare Bob Baffert horse that a lot of people were talking about that turns out just isn't very good. Didn't run particularly well in his debut, and I don't know how well he ran the race we're looking at here when he broke his maiden his last start at Santa Anita. 76 buyer. So what? So he met a bunch of slow horses and he broke his maiden. Kind of strange that Bob Baffert's coming back just, I think, 15 days after breaking his maiden and running him to Lexington. Is it him? Is it the connections? He worked 58 prior to this race, so one thing that Bob Baffert's not scared to do, and that's work them strongly to get him into these races. I don't know where Bozos gets the prerequisite 5 to 8 lengths to be competitive in this race. To me, any money he sucks up is extra money you can make on other players. I like Swiftsure to upset Proxy in a very interesting running of the Lexington in a race. It doesn't necessarily have Derby implications, but it does have implications for the rest of the year in the 3-year-old division. Always like to see some good horses running. The best way to play those horses every day, anywhere, is through Naira Bets. If you're not a member, head over to Naira Bets. Bet 200. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. Use the promo code MATCH200. And the final Derby bankroll builder this Saturday. Bet 50 or more to win the Arkansas Derby through the app and the app only, and we will give you back $20. Win, lose, or draw on Derby weekend. Best of luck.